É,
Hey, Georgie.
you guys have any topics?
Hendrik has
Okay.
one, but the TSC meeting is going a little long, so they'll be on in a few minutes, I'm assuming.
Is this a TSC meeting or did I miss this one?
The TSC meeting started about an hour ago.
Oh,
This
damn.
one is for community transitions, community project
So,
transitions.
okay, because I wanted to present transitioning the Hedera CLI to Hyro. So this is the right meeting then probably.
Yeah, this would be the right.
Okay. Do you think they will still join, or is it like just running over?
It was running over. They were still on like their second topic at 10:12, but I'll ping them on Discord real quick.
Okay, thanks.
Hello. Sorry for the
Hello.
delay.
Sorry,
TSC
record time. Record time on
longer.
TSC running over.
Yeah.
You want to start with your topic, Hendrik?
In general, yes, the question is, does other people have topics too? So I see, Mika, you are here because of the CLI.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I assume people don't know about it because the TSC agenda is currently so full that it was not on the agenda, and people came, hey, we need to have a look at those things. So that is why it was not on the TSC agenda until now, but let me share it to get everybody on the same tier. Oh, that is not how to share. Only the browser. This one. So we have two new project proposals for Hyrule. One is this one, which is the Hedera CLI. Maybe, Mika, you can
Yeah.
say about it in a second. The other one is the Solo Docker environment project, and both have not been moved to the TSC and presented at the TSC so far. But both are hopefully projects that will come in near future to Hyrule. One is a totally new project. The other one, the Hedera CLI, is something we maybe then can transfer to Hyrule CLI. And Mika, if you want
Yeah.
to say something about it.
Do you want like a long presentation or a very short one in between?
The other people should decide because I know what it is.
Let me do like a
Anything.
quick in between then.
Yeah.
I'll take over Chrome. Yeah, this one. Okay. So do you still see it if I put in slideshow mode? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So a quick overview. This is also presented during the technical community call, actually, as a pre-release version of the Hedera CLI tool. It's a CLI tool that simplifies like your environment management. It integrates with your CI/CD pipeline, so you can quickly set up like Hedera related commands in your test environment. So it's very easy to like spin up a full testing environment where you create accounts, tokens, you deploy smart contracts, you interact with these smart contracts, and then you run your tests on top of this like pre defined testing environment. because like the main benefit is that it saves you a lot of time, because otherwise you have to use like a lot of scripts or like manually set up testing environments each time. So that's one of the main goals of the CLI tool. Other than that, it supports like anyone that wants to automate repetitive tasks, any Hedera project that wants like these end-to-end testing environments. And we are also exploring how we can integrate it into our getting started documentation. So for example, like the account create, token create, the very basic commands that could also lean very well for onboarding documentation. So some of the key features I will go over very quickly is account token management, Hedera consensus service, and then we offer smart contract integration with Hardhat. It's embedded within the CLI tool, just as it is. So here's a glimpse of what you can do. You can create an account. You can give it a name. The name system is very useful because then you can reference names within other commands as well. So if you go to the token create command, you'll see that I specify that the treasury key is assigned to Bob and the admin key is assigned to Alice, which is the account I created in the previous command. So you can like start referencing command. You don't need to remember all of the account IDs and token keys. So it makes management and using these commands a lot easier. Same for topic creation, creating message submission, finding messages by sequence number. There are also like plenty of filters. Then there's Hardhat integration. So you can add your Hardhat scripts, which deploys like an ERC71 token, for example. You can interact with it. You can call it with the command below. So you actually use the npx command while the scripts are stored within the CLI state. You can specify the network. So it supports mainnet, tested, preview net, and local network. So the local node for now. This will probably like change to solo at some point. So once you deploy the contract, oh, that's it. You can actually store an argument like the ERC71 address in the state of the CLI, and then you can also use it in other script commands. And then the final thing is script logs is the most powerful feature. So this is like how you set up testing environment by chaining a lot of the commands. So each of the commands has like a lot of variables you can store and reference in other commands. So for example, for account create, you can store the name, the account ID, the type of the account, the public key, EVM address, everything can be stored. You can give it your own name, and then you can see here, for example, for the account create, I store the private key and I call it priv key account 1. I do the same for account 2 and 3. And then I create a token and I actually reference like priv key account 2 with like the double bracket notation. So it will interpolate when executing the command with the correct value that has been created like in a previous step. And this way you can like chain like a token create and transfer script where you go to the testnet, you create 3 accounts, you create a token, set treasure key and admin keys to like account 1 and 2. You associate like account 3 with the token and then transfer it. You verify the balance and then you also verify the internal state. So it's like a full end-to-end script for setting up environments, and then you can export it basically within your CI/CD pipeline so you can use it to run your tests. Yeah, this is just like the more detailed explanation of it. And demo. I won't do the demo. Yeah, that's about it. That's the goal and purpose. And we're actually planning to onboard like a dev shop to make it more professional, and I can't keep up with all of the features of the network, so we'll probably hand it over to them and they will implement more features and also make it a bit more production ready for anyone using it on mainnet. Any questions? That was a speed run through. It seems like we all like the tool. That's good. I'll stop the screen share. So in terms of voting, is this something we can do in this call, Hendrik, or should
No.
this go to the TSC for the voting
Yeah,
process?
it need to go to the TSC.
Right.
So that need to happen to the TSC. If next week people don't want several hips on the agenda, then we can do it next week. But this week again was, I mean, we did 10 minutes longer than expected and have not done all points from the agenda.
Okay, let's see. It would be beneficial to move it quickly because we wanted to start like early marketing for this, but like a 1 week or 2 week delay, it's not a big issue. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me try to, I mean, I can directly create the agenda for the next week and put it on it. Give me a second. What date is next Tuesday? The 5th.
It's planned at 4 p.m. again, like this week, right?
Yeah, it's every week the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second.
I'll
Just
join and I'll see if they make it to the CLI
template
tool or not.
and I put it on the agenda for next week. Boom. Actually, I can put both project proposals directly there so that it's the, I call it Hyro CLI, right?
Yep.
And the issue. And then the other one. Okay, it's on the agenda for next week. If nobody tells me something is more important, then we will have it next week.
All right.
Good. What else do we have? Or Jessica, do you have something? So I have this question regarding
Not at the moment, but
releases and deployments.
Yeah.
That I would like to ask. I can show that. Give me a second.
yeah, I think the only thing that I have was sorry that this is coming from the previous meeting, but I'm posting the changes to the governance file for the charter. That
Everything's
one
wrong there.
Yeah.
Now everything it shows me like one big change.
Yes, it's because the formatting changed. The formatting on the Hyro file was better than the one in the governance, but just to be safe, I basically, since the legal team approved the version in the Hyro repo, I basically just move the file over.
Yeah, we really need then to. I mean, the point how that started was when we started. For me, this government repository was only the JSON file for the teams and user rights, and that's why we put the charter in the Hyro org, or no, in the
Mhm.
Hyro repo under the Hyro Ledger org, and why seen that, but late. So after we already started with everything and worked on other things, and said the charter must be in the government repo. So he
Yeah.
created this file in the government repo. Actually, I hoped that he did a one-on-one copy of exactly what is in the Hyro repo.
Yes,
So-
it actually so he didn't took it from the Hyro. We have an internal document where we have a in our Google Drive we have a copy of the charter, which basically what he did, he posted it into the governance repo with a different format. Like the format is it's just a little bit different because the governance one had longer lines and the Hyro one had shorter lines. I think shorter lines is easier to read in my opinion. But
Yeah.
but it's basically since the legal team approved the Hyro version.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I just copy paste.
Yeah, and this is what I did because we had so many. So when we created the chart, we had so many discussions, and it was horrible to have like a command on a full section. That's why we split it up in, I don't know what the
Smaller,
line
readable.
value was. Yeah, okay, okay.
Roger has a question.
Understood. Yeah, understood. So I mean, we need to clarify that the content is really the same.
Yeah,
Because
I put it in
by scrolling through that, I have no clue if this is correct or if there are,
Will you
strange
rather
changes
prefer-
in the charter. So we definitely need to figure that out.
Will you rather prefer that I do the changes on the old version with the old format so that it's easier?
I mean,
I'm gonna interrupt.
Yes, go ahead.
yeah,
Hendrik, click the rich diff.
excuse me?
Oh,
That
thank
button right,
you.
yeah, that button right there. You can see the minimal formatting changes and then the actual changes made to the proposal are right here.
Okay, that is
Uh,
great. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that
a lot
is that
easier.
is great.
Wait,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
up, go up. I think number 4. There was a yeah, that one. That is the one that I wanted to make
That is
sure.
the most important one, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is just because it changed, right? Yeah, that is something we found when updated it. Similar to that one, those are like just typos we found.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah,
we
many of those changed actually. You wanna just make sure that everything kinda matches?
So I mean that looks good now, and that is reviewable. So I don't want to review it now here.
Mhm.
But that PR is great, and we should send it to the TSC so that the TSC member can have a look at. I assume 2 TSC members should do the approval here to move that forward. That is my gut feeling.
There's small changes, like for example, that rapid and aggressive that wasn't in the, so it was in the
Yeah.
Hyro file, but not in the governance. And
How-
then
how
that
do you
one,
do that?
so I don't know if
Oh, so the one that was reviewed by legal said
aggressive.
I dislike aggressive adoption, but
Okay,
yeah.
let me do one thing. Let me compare to the one that we have in the Google Drive, because yeah, those little
Yeah.
wordings kind of worry me. And for example,
Yeah.
number three also kind of changed. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Roger, for this tip.
That is so good, Roger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jessica.
Yeah.
Just an idea. I think we don't need to do this in this big group, right?
Okay.
Because this is now really, I mean, we don't discuss any wording here. We really now try to figure out what is the correct version.
Mhm.
And since the
Don't worry, I can do it after this meeting.
Excuse me?
I can do it after this meeting. So
Yeah, that was my idea. Should we just maybe do it after this meeting, sit together and see what has changed? Is
Okay.
all that correct? And yeah,
yeah, sounds good.
because I think that would make sense. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Good. Let me just copy this link because TSC need to approve it anyway. Why is my notes app not working? Give me a second. My notes app is died. Okay, I cannot take notes now. Anyway, we will do it anyway after this meeting, and then I can forward it.
Yep.
So the point I have is regarding the Hyro Enterprise Java project that should be migrated to Hyro. And this project has already been done several releases, and releases not only here in GitHub, but even publishing releases to Maven Central. And what I'm doing to do so is I'm using a tool which is JReleaser that can be used to make releases out of Gradle, Maven, whatever you want to. And I have a small release script that does all the work, like updating the version in it and doing that as a commit and so on and so on. And the question is, how and if will that change, or how can we do in general all that work when we move the project to Hyro? Because what I currently have, which is the easy solution, I do a release on my machine, and I have an .env folder where I have all the information in that JReleaser needs, because it can work with environment variables. I just have a .env, which is under .github ignore, and then on my local machine, I can easily do a release by calling the release.sh. I assume with moving to Hyro, I cannot do that anymore regarding GitHub tokens, regarding token to Maven Central, and so on. And here the question is how to do that. Nathan.
Yes. So I'm concerned about what namespace are you publishing this under, because this could lead to Maven Central conflicts.
It will be under org.hyro.
How are you publishing it to org.hyro currently?
Oh, I'm currently not publishing under org.hyro. It should be published to org.hyro after the transfer and then after refactoring.
Right. But what package names are you using here?
At the moment, it's no Hyro package names, but that will be changed then. Look, so that will be changed to org.hyro and then something we
that should have failed validation if you're not publishing it under org.hyro and using org.hyro as the namespace. So that is a little bit of a concern that, we have regarding this. The second concern is definitely JReleaser. I'm not sure if it supports the latest publishing model.
It does. That's why I'm using it, because that works quite good. I had those problems, and I've updated everything some weeks ago. Yeah.
Additionally, we probably do not want to support Maven. We're
Oh,
already
that is wrong. We support Maven at Hyro.
Okay, I mean, Roger's team then is going to take probably zero ownership.
That is, Mason, I'm not talking about how Roger does that. This is a community project, and the community needs to do releases.
Right,
So
but we also have to support it through security tooling, potentially, if it's going into the mainline org.
it's going, and that is the question where to get, so how to use the tokens for Maven Central and for GitHub in a secure way in a repo to do releases under org.hyro. Because that is what we, independent of the project, need to support for projects coming to Hyro.
I mean, if JReleaser supports them as environment variables, that's probably the way to do it, I mean, it's not, again, it's the same issue we have with Gradle. We have to pass as either environment or we have to pass as command line args.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Both are bad, but command line args are probably worse.
I agree, and maybe you misunderstood my question. My question was not how can you or Roger or whoever refactor all that to do releases. The question is, what is a good setup for such a project to get access to the tokens in a secure way, so that they, as an example, can be forwarded to a GitHub action that can be triggered by the maintainers, or however we do it to do releases. That is more or less the question here.
Standard GitHub secret, Hendrik. There's no, I don't know why we're even bringing this up again, because there's only one way to inject a secret into actions. GitHub doesn't give us any other real options other than GitHub secrets.
Okay, so the answer is we will, and I'm just bringing it up because I try to understand it. I want to know how to do it. I not that good in those topics that I could solve it. So I need a solution where I can, I don't want to have those keys on my machine. I have it for this project, not on my machine.
I mean, you won't, because we don't give out those keys, period.
Yeah, sure. So what we need is a solution where a project can, however.
have that solution. I mean, it requires support from Roger's team to enable it right now. It requires support from Jessica or whoever who will ultimately delegate to Roger to,
Yeah,
to
it-
enable it. I
to,
mean,
to do the publishing to Maven Central, the bottom line is that there has to be, in order to use the Hyro namespace, you have to do it through GitHub Actions, and that
Yeah,
uses
that's
the
fine.
Gradle aggregation. And right now, I believe JReleaser supports using Gradle, so we could use our tasks that we have today for that, but we'd have to build up an entire workflow around this, and that's a lot of support. And
So, but-
that's a part of it. So
Yeah.
coming into the repository, this isn't ready to go until there's an existing action that you've proven out on your end that can do all the publishing.
I mean, I could, what I could do is I could set up a GitHub action, and I could, in my org or repository, define secrets for Maven Central, define a GitHub token, and then call the action on the main branch with an input parameter like this is the next version, and then it would go automatically. I just have not set that up. Currently, I do it on my machine. But whatever I do on my machine with an .env file, I could do in a GitHub action. And I could set that up, and then we have a GitHub action here. I just have not done it because I was aware this should go to Hyro, and I don't want it to set up a GitHub action that maybe is not working with Hyro.
So you have to have a workflow in your .github in order to do the publication, or else it's not ready to come to Hyro. You have to prove out that your CI/CD automation is in place so that we can modify it to be compatible with the Hyro keys. But I would say this isn't ready to come over as it's not in an automated release state yet.
That's fine. So you say, let's do here an automated release first, so I can do that. I can create easily a GitHub action that calls the release.sh and put in 3 secrets coming from the GitHub org. Like I put my Maven credentials for the Maven Central into my GitHub org, and then I could call the GitHub action here manually. Would that be in help? And then we can transfer it over, and some magic, Jessica or whoever puts into those tokens, secrets, the information that is needed to publish it to org.hyro?
I would say you need a full-fledged release workflow in place before you bring it over, like Roger said. So whether it's a trigger on a workflow dispatch, or it's a trigger based on pushing a tag, or it's triggered based on, or triggered, the tag is created by using, semantic release, whatever tooling.
Yeah, but I mean that is easy. You
Version.
can create a GitHub action that is triggered by a tag.
You mean a workflow, because you're not creating a GitHub action, you're creating a workflow here.
So I would create a file. Yeah, okay, maybe.
It's a
Okay,
workflow,
sorry.
not an
Okay, wrong wording. I create a workflow. I agree on that. So I create a workflow that does the release in this repo. So and is based on tokens coming from my org. And that can then be moved to Hyro with the tokens then filled with the concrete values for Hyro, like for GitHub releases and for Maven Central.
It can be updated after it's moved to Hyro, yeah.
Yeah, that was my question the whole time.
But it does have to have the workflow in place.
Right, we're not
as part of graduation to being
Yeah,
able to come over.
I never asked you to create a GitHub workflow or anything for that project. My question was what makes sense to do next? What are the steps to bring it there? So the steps are create a new workflow here that can be triggered manually or however to do a release, and then we can use that workflow under Hyro with the correct variables
Yes.
Perfect.
Right.
Okay,
We're not-
then I will do that.
Yeah, because we're not supporting community repos, at the level we support everything else.
I know.
We're responsible for
Nathan,
everything else. So I just want to make that very clear that the community, the requirements to enter for a community project should be all their workflows need to be in place. And our scope is limited to just assisting them with, credentials and other org level, high level configuration.
I totally agree. And my question was really not, hey, this is it. Now you should do it. It was more like, because I know, Nathan, you are heavily concerned regarding tokens, GitHub secrets, and so on, where I still do not have the complete overview to understand that. So my question was, how do I do it in a way that works fine for you? And if you say, yeah, create it as a GitHub action, and then we can, or Jessica can do the magic that those variables are under Hiro filled with the Hiro tokens, then I'm totally good. Make sense?
Yes, I think so.
Perfect. Cool. Good. Yeah, that was my question. Then I will try to have it done like next week or so. And Jessica, maybe we can then, Jessica and I meet in a week. So maybe we can then really do it in person and move it to Hiro.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. That's all I had.
All right. I want to talk about the Solo Docker environment project proposal that you've started a discussion on, Hendrik. We've got
Oh, yeah,
Nathan and Jeremy here as well.
Sure.
I really think that it's
Uh-huh.
important to have a clear understanding that this is directly competing with the Solo roadmap, and I think that we need to shut this project down. I don't think it's an appropriate use of Hiro assets and Hiro effort.
I don't know. I know I can quote Richard, who said, that is magic, that is so good. And as you can see, everybody I showed it says that is exactly what I need. My problem is I'm not seeing how, and to be fair, I don't want to create Solo 2 or whatever, right? Absolutely. If Solo has a good solution for that, and I have not seen it, then we don't need it. But as I've written, oh, here's a lot of things. Oh, the discussion is going on. Okay. I do not, I'm coming from a world, and I know thousands of people, no, maybe hundreds of people coming from that world, who say, oh, I need to use a tool for an enterprise application. What I need to install kind and whatever. I don't try it at all. I give up.
So
Docker is
if
fine for me.
Hendrik,
I don't
if
want
you
to use.
don't mind, maybe just read that last comment.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That one I just made. Just read that real quick. It's not too long.
Yeah. I like that. So I don't know.
And
that is a question.
Nathan also brought up some concerns. I didn't get into the full details with him, but I'm not sure how sustainable long term putting it inside of a Docker container would be. Nathan,
Really, Jeremy, he's already out of date. I just looked at the code that is that's hiding in the action repo. It's already out of date.
That is normal because you create new releases. That is normal. So
Right.
it's a dependency. So
Right, but
sure, it's outdated.
Hendrik, the point is we already have this quick start command that was released in what, 39? couple weeks ago, Jeremy, and then additional ones in
Yeah.
41. And it does everything except for the kind piece right now. And then the next release, I think Jeremy's targeting, we have the kind stuff in place. So it becomes one command to run them all.
So my assumption is that is one of the standards people use for testing, for, you know, writing tests in the enterprise world. If we get Solo without what I created running in test containers, I'm fine. That must be the end goal, having full support for test containers so that we can.
And Hendrik, there's already a kind test container, by the way. So the community can simply use the existing kind test container and issue solo commands against it today.
Yeah. And there's other test containers if they don't want to use kind that would probably might need some testing.
Right. There's Rancher as a test container that spins up K0S and a few other variants out there for supporting test containers. I mean, we already support it with a quick start command if they wish to use test containers.
And I do have it in my list eventually to get down is to actually use test containers inside of Solo's end-to-end testing with Solo inside the test container. So because it'll speed up some of our, we'll get some
Solo, or at least Solo hitting the test container, you know, depending on how we implement it. We should probably do both models, but
we'll figure it out.
yeah, there's definitely roadmap items that cover all of this.
Okay. Yeah, that is good to know. So I think the big question is, when will that come? You know, when will I be able to say new Solo container and then get account, and then I have the account and can run a test?
We don't, so building a test container, an actual test containers plugin is on the roadmap, most likely as part of the user. I don't know when that's going to come. We've got other items that are higher priority from a tool, you know, that are taking priority over other smaller things like this, but this would be possibly part of that, you know, overall initiative for, you know, these guys. I don't know, maybe Q4, maybe Q1. I have no idea yet on that specific line item because we haven't itemized that out as an independent item.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, we can have that in 2 weeks. You know, and then application developers, SDK developers, whoever can use exactly that. So the SDK team already said they want exactly that. I mean, you can ask with the SDK. I'm not saying, Nathan, so to make clear, I'm not saying I want to implement something that is on the Solo roadmap. Don't get me wrong here, right? So I don't want to
Why not?
Hendrik, that's exactly what you are saying, though. This whole project is on the Solo roadmap. It's all portions of the Solo roadmap. And from what I'm seeing, what I'm observing here, is this is completely taking away, without communicating with the Solo team, you know, required effort that they have to put in. And that's frustrating.
Roger,
just from an
Roger,
outside observer.
Roger, I need to stop you. Sorry, Nathan, that this is now recorded for the public. But when I asked about help, the answer was, for the things you are doing, we have negative resources. And if I get answers like that, I stop talking with teams and give on it. Sorry about that. I tried to several times. And it was escalated to your boss several times.
I haven't been in the loop on half of that, Hendrix. I don't know what you came to me, other than I think in 2023 or 2024 into 2024 we said we had negative resources at that time because we're also trying to do the Hyro migration and other things. I mean, resources change all the time, and we were also in the middle of trying to support the other initiative internally that was taking all of our resources at that point in time. Had a strong deadline effect.
I will directly after this meeting bring it to Richard, and he should decide. I don't care.
I mean, why don't you just contribute to the Solo repo directly?
I mean, it's Nathan. We can do that. I'm not saying I want to create something in parallel to Solo. Absolutely not.
But that's exactly what you're doing, what you're saying, and what's actually happening.
No, I create a Docker image that internally is using Solo. If there is a database, is somebody creating Postgres, and I create a Docker image that is using Postgres internally, I'm not working against the Postgres developers. Absolutely not.
But one of the things is that if we really wanted to do this, I think it would be better just, I mean, I don't know, maybe Nathan has a different opinion, but maybe just integrate directly in Solo, because like if you look at
That is fine, Jeremy. Yeah.
And all of those, they build their Docker container directly in there so that when they go through the CI and they build the release, it becomes a release artifact. And it basically publishes at the same time and it stays in version, and you have the regression test all validating everything. So if it does,
100%. It's for 100%, I'm with you, and we can do the same with the Solo action in future. So I'm totally fine with saying for Solo, things like a Docker container, things like the Solo action are together in place, released with one release cycle. When I asked about that, Nathan said we will throw away what you did and recreate everything. And that was when I stopped talking, you know? And that was when I said, okay, then I do it on my own, and everybody loves it. That's the reality.
So Hendrik, one thing that, you know, because, and we actually have a call right after this where we discussed, it's our Solo Hyro community meeting. So, but just to kind of give you a glimpse of something that might come up someday once we start going into the roadmap, is that the reason why the comment about, you know, throwing your stuff away and writing it again, I know that's kind of you know, it raised the hackles on the back of my neck, so to speak. Is that what we have is we're basically redesigning Solo so that we can separate the layers, and we're going to have this like API layer that will allow us to do a lot of different things. And so it would be a lot easier if it was called inside of Node.js. And so what the plan was that when we built the GitHub action, we would build it in Node.js and be able to call all of those API layers directly and not have to go through the CLI presentation layer. And so that was what he meant was that, you know, essentially, you know, because of the way you built it, we would build it a different way, essentially.
That is totally fine. And we even now have a PR where we rebuild the action based on Node to do like post cleanup steps and things like that to make it easier to run it in a self-hosted GitHub runner. So
why we rebuilt as a Node.js runtime is because we need to support those post cleanup, pre-start steps, etc. Right, and that's what I told you back then in 2024 when we were bogged down with, you know, with the other project that I can't talk about on a public call right here, you know, and we had a hard deadline on, you know. So again, that is exactly what I had said, is that we need to convert it to a Node.js, and we need to have, you know, and so what you were, you know, doing currently was gonna at some point get replaced, and you're already replacing it.
No, you said it should not be there, and it must be totally different, and that happens.
Right.
And then your boss
I was on the defensive. I was on the defensive in 2024 because you did it without even talking to me. Right?
No, we talked several times. It was escalated to your boss, and your boss said you should stop complaining, and it should be exactly as it is now. I have that written down.
After you went around me, you didn't even talk to me.
Hey,
so.
I stop here. I think that is nothing we should discuss in such a meeting.
Nathan Hendrik, I think that we are at an impasse right now.
We're also really low
I believe that we have 5 minutes left, as Jeremy said. I will make the point. I don't believe that this project proposal is appropriate as it's written. I think that to Jeremy's point and to Nathan's point, at a minimum, it should be happening within the Solo project. My opinion is that there needs to be more communication between the Solo actions team and the Solo team. And there are plenty of avenues to do that with the Solo community call and the Solo action call and the Discord channels and the internal Slack channels. I also believe that we need to sit down and talk internally with a subset of this group. I'd like to get something set up for that. But I'd really like to push back on this solo Docker environment project, Hendrik. I think that it should be done a completely. I think it should be done as part of solo. And I think it's competing with the solo roadmap, and that is my entire point here.
I disagree on some points you said, but I'm totally fine with not pushing it. You know, I'm totally fine with finding a good solution. So yeah, I won't push it, even if I disagree on some points. But yeah, I'm totally respect your opinion.
All right.
You're
I think
welcome
I think we should have
to-
this conversation elsewhere. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, Hendrik, if you want, I don't know if you've got a conflict, but immediately following this, we have our Hyro solo community one. It's our second
I have a
one.
conflict. I can already say I have another meeting directly after that. Actually, Nathan has a conflict too because I'm in a meeting with Nathan after this one, which is parallel to the solo community call. Yeah. Otherwise, I would come to that, but I cannot. And
Okay.
I plan to be there normally in all the community calls. The solo one has not fit for me so far.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know if it can, I don't know what the long-term schedule is. I think we threw something out there and it worked, but yeah, we can maybe figure out if it needs to change or what needs to change. Or you can just listen to the recordings if we can't change it. But anyway, okay. And you can always, you know, let us know if you have particular topics you want us to discuss so that, you know, or comments, and that way we can, because right now we're just kind of on the fly based on the attendance without a specific agenda, but at some point we'll start having agendas, so.
I assume that's how most meetings. So, yeah. I assume that's agile, you know.
Yeah. So some people might show up with agendas.
Yeah.
And that's how it ran last time. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop and go join that call.
Yeah, I need to drop too. Thanks all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.